Adam alayhi salam had a son named Sheeth or Seth.
And Shaith was a gift. And even the name Shaith means gift that was given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Adam after the death of his son Habil.
This son of Adam was very close to him. He obeyed his instructions. He learned from his father. He actually used to remind his brethren, his brothers and the nephews and so on. Whilst Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was alive as well, there was one of the sons known as Qabil. He had aggressiveness in his behavior. He had greed. He had arrogance. He was a tough character, difficult to get along with. So what he did, he decided to depart, to leave the rest and to go away on his own, somewhere very far away. Later on, Sheeth alayhi salatu wasalam was given an instruction by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Part of his sharia was that it was prohibited to mix with the people who were gone onto the other side. And they followed it, they did not mix, and they were saved to a great degree. After some time, problem arose. Allah says, "Go, O devil, O Satan, O Iblis, go and try and befool them gradually as you wish. Go and use your sound," the voice of shaitan. The Mufassirin, almost all of them have made mention of music and musical instruments, illegal income, prohibited relationships. The income, number one, when a person wants to derive income from that which is prohibited, and the next part of the verse says, go and be a part of their relationships as well. In their children, you can have a portion. And what the Mufassirin say is this means go and encourage them to do what you want in terms of illicit sexual behavior. So shaitan from that time, he bore this in mind, and he was given this authority in order to test them. So shaitan decided, let me come in the form of a man. I will go to those who are with Qabil and pretend like I've defected from Sheeth. You could see very clearly the men from Qabil's side were not very good looking, and the women were very good looking. When it comes to where Sheeth alayhi salam and the rest of them were, the men were very good looking and the women were not that good looking, according to narrations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept it such that shaitan went to that side in the form of a handsome man. And when he went there, he asked for a job. So he got a job, he worked amongst them, and he worked very hard. He slowly started making sounds, a sound that people had never heard before. And now he created a little drum and he beat it, and everybody would come, what's that sound? And they would come around him and watch. Then he got a bit of metal and he started hitting it, and then it created a sound. And then he made a bugle and he started blowing into it, and it created a sound, and they were excited, wow. And so they were so happy and they got so engrossed in it that they slowly started forgetting the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After some time, they began to follow him. It created a disaster for them. This is how they introduced the musical instruments into existence. And through that, he would control them. They literally set aside a day, an evening, and amazingly, to this day, it lasts. They set aside that evening where he would create these sounds, everybody would come around and everybody would listen to him. Everybody would literally party, until there came a time when some of the youth from Sheeth alayhi salatu wasalam were visited by shaitan. He went to them and he created a doubt in their mind. He made them question the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why is it that we are not allowed to mix with these cousins of ours, with these relatives of ours? It was answered for them that look, Qabil had engaged in a crime right at the beginning. He engaged in a sin, and for this reason they were all on one side and we are ordered not to mix with them. These youth were dissatisfied with the answer. Some of them decided, let's just have a peep at what's happening, because we've heard here things are going on. These people are progressing, let's go and see. They went. And from a distance they were watching, and they had seen, and it pulled them. They did not intend to engage in evil, but when they saw everybody's partying, and what did they see? They saw very good looking females, and so they went closer. When they went closer, they were seen, subhanallah, they were seen, and they were good looking men. So the women began to engage in what is known as tabarruj, meaning to start displaying their beauty in order to attract. This was the first time shaitan taught them this. These young men, and they enjoyed themselves, they had music, they had women, they had so much, they were partying, and they went away. So as the men came back, they told the other youngsters, hey, you don't know what you're missing out on. They've got different sounds, and these sounds are amazing. Now look, shaitan uses sound to control man. It started at that time. These people came back with a bigger group, and the group was growing, and every time that party happened, there were people from this side who used to quietly go to that side, and they used to engage in sin. Music was invented. Created was adultery. So this is how it started.
And so free mixing began to occur without boundaries. Our scholars say that this is when zina began. This is when adultery and fornication began.